Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with an update on Typhoon Fitow in the Western Pacific. This is based on the 3 Zulu JMA advisory package from the 5th of October 2013. At 2 Zulu, Typhoon Fitow was about 190 kilometers east of Miyako-jima, or about 205 kilometers south of Okinawa. It continues to move off to the northwest at 9 knots. Winds are 70 knots, gusting to 100, and do have the central pressure down to 965 hectopascal. Looking at satellite here, do have about a 30 nautical mile diameter eye with this system. Plenty of outflow in all quadrants. Exceptional on the northern end. You can see here that extension off to the north, and that's just because of a cold front that went through Japan earlier in the week. You can see it here on this wide shot across the Western Pacific. Here's that cold front that went through Japan earlier, helping to establish some excellent outflow on the north side here. High pressure dominating, though, much of the Western Pacific. You can see generally clear skies across China. Here is our next tropical storm we'll have to keep an eye on, Tropical Storm Madanas. That's going to continue to follow in the wake of Fitow and will potentially be a threat for Okinawa again midweek. Taking a look at the JMA surface analysis, you can see the high pressure off to the north helping to influence the westward track of Fitow. Right now it is expected to continue brushing across Okinawa just to the north of Taiwan before landfall there in eastern China. That being said, very gusty winds for portions of Okinawa Prefecture as well as northern Taiwan. Taiwan does have some advisories for high winds and heavy rains, especially in and around the Taipei area. China has already issued an orange alert for typhoon in advance of Fitow. Taking a look at the Taiwan forecast, this westward track here is Fitow. The other one is Danas. We'll have to continue to monitor here. But again, keeping the system north of Taiwan. That being said, gusty winds, heavy rain is still expected before eventual landfall. And here's last night's China track on the system as it makes landfall. For JTWC, pretty much on point with what you've been seeing. Do have a tropical cyclone condition of readiness, or TCCOR, out for Okinawa. There is a little some confusion out there. Taking a look at the Kadena social media sites, they are saying TCCOR 1 caution, or 1C, is in effect. That would be sustained winds of less than 50 knots. That being said, taking a look at this forecast, that does place the 50-knot winds across Okinawa, or across much of Okinawa. So we'll have to continue to monitor the progress of this storm. Matter of fact, the official TAF for Kadena Air Base does have 50 knots gusting to 60 knots. So I could see the cause for TCCOR 1. Matter of fact, did see some guidance that did say TCCOR 1 for Okinawa. That being said, the official social media networks are showing 1 caution. So be prepared for winds greater than 50 knots. But we'll continue to monitor the progress of this storm as it passes to the south and southwest of Okinawa. Here's the same graphic, just focusing on the wind radii. The blue you see there is for 35 knot winds. Yellow is for 50 knots, and the red is 65 knots. So that, at least this forecast does suggest that tropical storm force winds of 50 knots or greater could be affecting much, if not all, of the island of Okinawa. Alright, taking a look at some current satellite analysis. All the agencies are going with a 4.5, so about 70 knots, at least from the JMA side. You saw there from JTWC, actually. See if I can back it up one more slide here. 90 knots was what JTWC is forecasting. and part of that is to do with the difference in wind scales. JMA is measuring in a 10-minute average, whereas the JTWC is measuring with a 1-minute average. Either way, though, what we're seeing is some slight weakening, as indicated by the first set of numbers being a little lower than the second set of numbers. Keeping the current intensity at 5.5 or 5.0 from NESDIS and JTWC. JMA is keeping about 4.5 with a strengthening system. Taking a look at the objective Dvorak, a little stronger, showing about 100 knots here with that 5.4 current intensity there. So either way, you've got a strong typhoon making its way through, and that's being based on this satellite image you see here. A warm medium gray eye surrounded by dark gray, so that gets you an initial set with 4.5. Like I said, taking a look at some weakening, at least from NESDIS and JTWC. That's why they're going a little stronger with 90 knots for their initial intensity. Taking a look at the upper level winds, you can see that cold front that went through Japan, the jet stream associated with that, some very, very strong winds in excess of 100 knots up aloft. So that's helping to increase the northern outflow with the typhoon, as well as introducing some shear. Quick look at your low level winds there, nothing much to note there. But here's your shear forecast, and you can see significant amount of shear, at least 100 knots over the Sea of Japan, and that does extend a little bit further southward in the East Sea there. So we'll have to continue to monitor that. The system should continue to weaken as it gets north of Taiwan and moves into China. You should see a pretty rapidly weakening typhoon with that. Here's your surface plots in and around the area. Gusts in and around Okinawa showing 40s to 50s. Miyako-jima, other islands showing 30 knot gusts. Matter of fact, taking a look at Kadena, this is from 419 Zulu. 26 degrees Celsius out there. Winds are out of the east, 35 knots, gusting to 55. Some heavy rain out there. Seeing the visibilities bouncing around between 1 and 3 miles. 1.6 kilometers would be 1 mile there. Seeing the pressure is bottoming out about 29.37 inches or 995 hectopascal. Should see that starting to steady out here. Matter of fact, over the next few hours, basically 2 p.m. local time through, say, 6 p.m. local time. That's going to be your, at least right now, is forecast the strongest winds. Kadena's official forecast has 50 knots gusting to 60. At that point, it should start weakening thereafter. During the overnight hours, should see those winds subside, or at least slacken up there anyway. By tomorrow morning, winds should be back down 20 knots gusting to 30, kind of as a worst case scenario. So that concludes the update on Fitow. Of course, you can get this and other Western Pacific analysis over at westernpacificweather.com. You can also follow along on Twitter and Facebook. Also, join in on the discussion at storm2k.org. I'll be posting some updates here now on my Twitter site at Senior Pepper. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.